The cruise ship industry promotes a positive image, all but guaranteeing the voyage of a lifetime. However, what they'll never talk about in their ads is how terrible their open water practices are for our oceans and seas, and consequently our marine wildlife. They appear harmless and magical, but statistics show quite the contrary. While most ocean pollution begins on land before rain, storms, and runoff push the garbage out to sea, reports show that cruise ships do play a significant part in this ongoing crisis. Statistics show the average week-long cruise can generate 210,000 gallons of sewage. That's the equivalent weight of 214 African elephants. Human waste contains bacteria that can infect the water and cause disease and even death in marine animals. Current Caribbean regulations state that ships can begin releasing garbage 3 miles from shore as long as it's ground to less than 1 inch, and almost anything but plastic can be dumped beyond 25 miles from the coastline. However, plastic traced back to cruise ships has been reported. Multiply that by the roughly 400 ships sailing the ocean blue, day in, day out, year after year. Each week, an average cruise ship generates 2,137 pounds of CO2 per passenger. This is almost triple the amount of CO2 emissions the same individual would produce on land. During the typical 10-hour stay in a port, a single cruise ship produces about 66 tons of CO2, equivalent to the total annual emissions of 6.2 Hummers. Not to mention, while docked, thousands of people simultaneously trampling beaches and sensitive ecosystems, leaving locals to deal with the aftermath. As a result, some countries and states such as Antarctica, Alaska, Venice, Croatia, and Norway have restricted cruise line access to their ports due to the damage. Ocean-going vessels, including cruise ships, regularly discharge about 100 million gallons of petroleum products into our oceans every year. This is almost 10 times the volume of oil spilled in the 1989 Exxon Valdez oil spill. It's ironic that these gargantuan gas guzzlers sail through some of the most pristine, untouched places on Earth, leaving a trail of toxic waste and air pollution, thereby adding to the climate change crisis that's already out of control. What's most disturbing about these estimates is that there are no accurate studies of how waste is disposed of, and cruise companies are not required to report what they're releasing into the waters. So nobody really knows just how much waste is being released at sea. And even when they do, oftentimes the records are falsified. While there are laws prohibiting vessels from discharging waste, there are gaps and overlaps in international waters, leaving it a free-for-all on the high sea. Here in the U.S., institutions we're supposed to trust are not adequate enough to monitor dumping on a consistent basis. Although cruise lines such as Royal Caribbean and Carnival have been caught illegally dumping, but again, if no one is watching, who will stop them from doing it again? Besides being rude and intrusive by nature, cruises are not a means of transportation, nor are they critical to human survival. Therefore, it's purely a luxury and simply a lazy choice of travel that leaves an unnecessary footprint everywhere they go. Therefore, their contribution to ocean pollution and climate change can be viewed as immoral. Despite the growing awareness of ocean pollution and the dangers it poses to our marine life, the cruise ship industry is expanding like never before and has increased by 3.3% from 2017 to 2018, displaying the demand and confirming the problem will continue. Possible solutions to reducing the environmental impact of cruise ships is to amend the Clean Water Act and the Clean Cruise Ship Act to be more specific, perhaps including a mandate that eliminates plastic bottles and that requires a certain amount of biodegradable, recyclable products be used on all voyages. Also, routine inspections of water treatment equipment and the proper disposal of wastewater and sewage will aid in reducing toxic waste. We as individuals can make a difference right now to reduce our own footprint on our oceans by becoming conscious of our own plastic waste habits. One easy way is to stop buying bottled water, because currently more than 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into our oceans every year. Majority of all plastic waste is bottles. Also, we can simply make better travel choices by not participating in vacations that are more harmful to our environment than they'll ever be fun. Reduce, recycle, reuse. Donate to the Ocean Cleanup, a registered, nonprofit organization that is currently removing the garbage from our oceans and seas.